Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and this is a match review. And I'm pleased to see I've got Jack from Toon TV. How are you, Jack?
Not too bad. I mean, 50-50 really. 50% starting a fresh day. Trying to forget about the result yesterday, but it's very hard when you're content creators and you have to recap the match. But once we get this over and done with, then we can start moving forward to Man City. Yeah, but I'm good though.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So before we get into the show, if you do like what you see, then please do smash the like. It really does help the channel to search. So follow Sean the Sheep there, hitting the thumbs up. It does help the channel, and it means new viewers find the channel more easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe. Come be part of this great community. Also, hitting that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows. If you want to become a member, it's 99p. You can do that by clicking the join button. And if you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by clicking on the $sign, using the super chat, super thanks option, and all money reinvested back into the channel as well. We'll just quickly go into some comments. Holly was first in. She says, not our best performance yesterday, and in defence as well, but Gordon getting injured as well as our injuries this season. Yeah, I've got to agree, Holly. It's not great, is it? Although Lee Ryder is stating tonight that apparently Gordon's injury is not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But we've heard this before, haven't we? So Mad Max says, evening everyone. I'm still gutted. I've always said trust the project, but leaning towards the fence. Serious questions need asking about favouritism. Yeah, absolutely, Mad Mag, and we'll get into that as well in the show. Holly says, I agree, Mad Mag, about trusting the project. Paul Gardner says, can we stop playing Longstaff as well? Yeah, Paul, I know. We'll be talking about that as well. Mad Mag says, getting hard to make excuses now, though, starting to look like the red flags were worn by some Bournemouth fans. Yeah, Bournemouth fans have had their say, and, rightly so. David Lee, hi, Tony and Jack. Hi to you, David. Ian Fleming, hi Tony and Jack. Hi Ian, hope you're well, mate. And that's Mad Mag talking to Ian. Yeah, so yesterday we went to Stamford Bridge. We haven't got a great record at Stamford Bridge, let's be honest. But we thought, yes, we're in with a chance because this isn't a great Chelsea side, let's be honest, full of individuals. So the team sheets were out. That was the Newcastle lineup for yesterday. We all know the lineup, and obviously Murphy was dropped to the bench, even though I thought he played well against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And there's the Chelsea lineup as well as they lined up last night. Thing is, we started the game off really, really well. We took the game to Chelsea, and we looked like we were going to be the first ones to score. I mean, that was a bright start, Jack, before they scored. But that first 6 minutes, we were well on it, weren't we?
We were. I mean, our press was immaculate. I think first impressions, I'm like, Jesus Christ, yeah, we've turned up today. We've actually turned up. And then to go and concede a crappy goal a few minutes later, it's really just drowns you, really. But really, really good start. You can tell. You thought we were going to be up for that game, and obviously turns out we weren't really up for the game. But you can tell we started the game in a good manner, and we definitely went out there to go and do something. We just lacked in the final third, and we lacked to create some chances. And that game yesterday, we needed the first goal. Fortunately, we didn't get it, and that was a defining moment in the game. But yeah, I was very impressed with the way we started. Really good press, and it's just a shame we couldn't really do much with it, really. And we had a lot of the ball as well, but obviously just couldn't do anything with it. But yeah, I was very impressed with our start.
Yeah, obviously then the sucker punch comes. Chelsea get the goal. There's two things that I don't like about them getting this goal. And there's two players I actually blame on the pitch for that one as well. And some people might be surprised, but when I mention why I'm blaming this person, there's a reason for it. So I'm blaming Dubravka and Botman together. Now, Botman, his pass was so weak. I don't know what he was doing. He passed it straight to Cole Palmer, who fired a shot which, was flicked in by the heel of Nicholas Jackson at the back of the net. Good goal. Don't take it away from the guy. But Dubravka should have been shouting at Botman and saying, command his area and saying, no, my ball, leave it, I'll get it. If he just shouted mine and picked up the ball, they don't score that goal. But because Dubravka does not bother commanding his area, he's let Botman take charge when really he should be the one taking charge. The difference, if you look at him and Karius, when Karius played against Arsenal, he commanded his area better than what Dubravka did. So you've got to look at it and say, I mean, Ice plays a goalkeeper as well, and I know if a ball was there in the area, I would shout at my defenders, leave it, it's mine, and I would pick it up. That's called commanding your area, and I don't think Dubravka did that last night, and I was quite disappointed by that. Yes, okay, the clearance from Botman was not very good. It was weak as well. So that's why I'm saying he doesn't get immune from the criticism either. But you can criticise both because they're both as bad as each other. But Dubravka should have took charge of that situation. Chelsea go 1-0 up, and it's a sucker punch because you're thinking it's against the run of play, because we were the better team up until that point. Jack, what do you think about that first goal? Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just Botman's clearance was just honestly powder puff. It was ridiculously bad. That I mean, they're the basics really, clearing your lines. And if Botman's just honestly, since he's come back, we thought we were gonna get a really good Botman back again after a long time out. But now he's obviously been rushed back, obviously because he doesn't look to full fitness. And I don't know why Eddie's not seeing this. And he definitely has to see it for Man City because there's no way Botman playing like that. Haaland's going to have a field day against Botman if he's having that sort of game. So for me, the Lascelles has to come in for the game. But Dubravka, you are right. Dubravka should be commanding his area a lot better. And also, I don't think the touch by Jackson was that big enough to take it away from Dubravka. And I still think he maybe should have got there for the shot. And yeah, again, we can criticise Botman and Dubravka and also the players in the box as well, not closing Palmer down quick enough. It's just a mess. It was just an absolute mess defensively for that goal. No one knew what they were doing. We were panicking, and we've been panicking all the time. And what happens when you panic? When defensively, you tend to concede goals, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. And it was just it was such a shame because if we just rode out them minutes, we would possibly go and get a goal, but we didn't. It's just unfortunate, really. It's just really, really unfortunate that Botman, player of his caliber, is really not performing to his best lately, and it's costing us goals and points at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mac has said a point there. He says one of the angles did show Dubravka call for it, but Botman ignored. Okay, well, I didn't say that angle, but if he did, then obviously that's Botman for... Botman must have tried to take charge of the situation.
Defenders are bad for that. They are bad for that. And it's also hard. It's also hard when you got a full stadium, full crowd. You can't always hear your teammates sometimes. That's a common mistake a lot of defenders make. There's nothing really you can do about that. It's just initial instinct. It happens so fast that you don't have much time to think about it. So his initial thinking must be, right, just get rid of this ball. Just get rid of it and clear your line. Fortunately, if the clearance was a lot better, then we would have been fine. It's just a shame that Palmer took up that position and got very lucky with Botman's clearance.
Yeah. Alessandro Minetti says, evening, brother, you are hammering home my exact point. That's the point he was obviously thinking on Dubravka and Botman. David says, how can Longstaff stay on the pitch again? What a shocking performance again. We'll talk about that later on. Scott says the lads look tired at points. I wonder if they're training too hard might be the cause for all the injuries. Again, I mean, that's the thing. We don't know. I mean, look, we didn't have a particularly good first half after that. Chelsea were on the front foot. Cole Palmer was causing problems. Malo Gusto was getting past Dan Burn with ease. He's got pace. That was a player I'd love to have seen Newcastle United before he went to Chelsea. But yeah, he was bursting forward. Then obviously we saw Gordon go down, and when he got taken off injured, you're just thinking, oh, here we go again, Christ, We've got Willick back, we've got Isak back, we've got Target back on the bench. And then all of a sudden we lost Harvey Barnes before the game due to some sort of hamstring injury, and now we've lost Anthony Gordon. That's two left wingers off the pitch. Jacob Murphy comes on for him. So Almiron moves out to the left, which delights me in a way. And when Murphy came on, we had a free kick, and I thought Murphy put a superb ball in the box. Just a shame there was nobody there to put it in the back of the net. And he put a couple of good balls in that first half. I mean, Jack, after they scored, they looked like they were hungry to get that second goal. And then, like I say, obviously, Gordon going off, that's another huge blow, isn't it?
Massive blow. And when I got home today and I saw rumours that he's going to be out for 6 to 7 months and possible ACL, my heart sunk. I couldn't breathe. That's how big this injury is. But also, thankfully, Lee Ryder, a proper reliable source, in my opinion, has come out saying it's not as serious. So that's calmed me down a little bit. And yeah, that's what always happens when the team scores the first goal. They're just hungry to get more. That's what we do all the time when we're at home. We get the first goal. We just go with the floodgates open, and they just push and push and push. Luckily, we didn't concede a goal. But many of their shots weren't very good. Sterling shot straight at the keeper. Palmer shot straight at the keeper. And Palmer is such a brilliant player. I do rate him a lot. He's a brilliant player, and God knows why City let him go. Because he would have thrived at City. I'm telling you now. But they've got so many players, it's ridiculous. But I think we did okay to ride the wave a little bit, because you're always going to get that with a home side in Chelsea. We did it with them. We scored 4 goals. It's just things you have to do away from home. It's just what you have to go through. But I think we did okay not to concede any more goals, because at least we didn't do an Arsenal, because that was atrocious, because we tried to ride the wave out, and unfortunately it just didn't work, and we panicked so much. So luckily we didn't do an Arsenal yesterday. But it was a slight positive in the fact that we can hold our own a little bit. It's just so annoying that we concede that first goal. We need to cut that out a little bit in our game, and we need to get the first goal. We can't want it. We need the first goal in these games to help us thrive in the game, without a doubt.
Yeah, we just seem to keep giving this first goal away, and then it seems to spring us into life to start playing again. It's like, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be just going for it from the off, But again, as I say, it's something we're not doing enough of. But look, I mean, yeah, I wasn't happy with that first half, in all honesty. And the closer it was getting to half time, I was tend to think, this is not going to be our night, is it? It's going to be one of these games where, Chelsea go on and win this game by the odd goal. Roy's in the chat. He says he's watching from the office. He says, I'm still fuming. Eddie needs to wake up before Piff gets rid of him. I mean, what's your thoughts on Roy's comment there, saying if Eddie doesn't wake up, PIF will get rid?
All I'm gonna say, I don't want Eddie Howe out. I'm not saying Eddie Howe out, but all I'm gonna say is he needs to be careful. He needs to be careful, because he is running the risk of losing his job with the way he's managing games and the way he's going about games. And he just needs to be. It's just a warning. Obviously, us as fans don't need to give warnings. We mean nothing to Eddie Howe or the players or PIF. We mean nothing to him. But all I'm going to say is that he needs to be careful, because the way he's going right now, unfortunately, it's going the way of getting sacked. He's nearly asking to get sacked if he's playing Longstaff, Dan Burn, and you don't even need to play these players. He's got players there who are miles better, but he still chooses to play the players who let him down every single week. And ultimately, that's going to get you sacked. If you play bad players every single week and you don't get good results, and the way we're going at the minute, the way we need to move forward, this is going to be a massive step backwards. And Eddie Howe, we need to move forward in this project, otherwise it's just going to go slow and slow and slow. And we knew this project when they were going to be overnight, but we don't want it to go. We don't want to take a step backwards. We really, really don't. So if Eddie Howe actually screws his head on a little bit more and actually opens his eyes and sees what's going on, I think he won't. I think he'll be absolutely fine. We know he's good enough. We know he's good enough. I definitely know he's good enough to take us forward. I'm very confident in that. He's got his Champions League football in pretty much one season, which is ridiculously good. And we know he's capable of so many brilliant things. But it's just his game management and his stubbornness that does ruin him a little bit, and is a bit frustrating as well. But I don't
Yeah.
think he should go. I don't think he should go at all.
Tanji saying, looking back on injuries this season, Murphy in, Murphy out, Isak in, Isak out, Willock out, then Willock in, Willock out again, Barnes out, then in, then out, Target, Kraft and Jolin. Sounds like the hokey cokey, doesn't it, Tanji? But yeah, you're exactly right. What you're saying is it's just unbelievable, isn't it? David Hutchinson says, hi, Tony, mate. I don't want to see Longstaff in a Newcastle shirt again. Well, I don't think that's going to... I think he'll be in the Newcastle shirt again this season. Probably on Saturday. Sold in the summer. Gordon was clearly not right after 5 minutes and stayed on the pitch till 34th minute. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Tanji, as well. And he says Botman looks stiff.
I saw someone ask Gordon. You can tell when the player's injured because they're not settling. And I did say he looks really uncomfortable, and you can tell players were like asking him, "Are you okay?" And he kept saying, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." And then one challenge came in, and then that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was it. This game was done then.
Yeah.
But it's also these players who, especially now, we need to say to these players, we need to say to that the Anthony Gordons, the Fabian Schär's, if you're injured, come off. You can't risk it. You can't just say you're fine when you're not. You can tell he wasn't fine. And he kept saying to everyone, yeah, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine to carry on. He wasn't. And that ultimately, that will make you more injured. If you're injured and you're playing through it, you can play with uncomfortability. You can't play through pain. He was playing through pain yesterday. And ultimately, that could have been really, really bad. If it already is really bad, but if it isn't really bad, we're a bit lucky. But we do need to. That is another warning to the medical staff and to us as well to know that some of these players do tell a little fib every now and then to regards to their fitness.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we've got 24 watching. If you want to smash that like, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. As we only have 12 likes, but let's get the likes up and give it this good old smash. So towards half time, we were thinking, oh, is this gonna be a 1-0 down at half time? But no, it wasn't. The assist actually come from Bruno, but Almiron made the space as well. And who was there? Isak scores a wonderful goal, puts it in the back of the net, and makes it 1-1. There he is on screen there. Fantastic goal from Isak. He's back with a bang. His scoring rate is absolutely phenomenal, to be fair. And, great to see him get another goal after he's won against Wolves. Well taken goal. No chance of the keeper Petrovic getting near it. Maybe he was unsighted by his defenders as well, but even if he wasn't, he was never getting anywhere near that. That was a world-class strike. Jack, your thoughts on Isak's goal?
Where do I start? What a finish that was. What a finish out of absolutely nothing. Did not see that. I got my words mumbled up because that's how good the goal was. I didn't have time to process what actually happened because it happened so quickly. And it's just one of them snap little shots. Thierry Henry style. That was by Isak. Just gets the ball, brilliant control to take it down, and just only has one vision, and that's to shoot. And my God, what a shot that was by Isak. He's just ridiculous, and we will be very lucky to keep him next season because it's only a matter of time before he will have to go to a Champions League team who qualifies every single season. That's why we need to really keep hold of this guy and Bruno as well. These players who just win us games sometimes out of absolutely nothing. And I do feel for Isak yesterday because that was probably his fourth touch of the game, and he scores like that. That's how good he is. He don't need to have many touches to produce quality, and many of our players do. And we're so lucky to have him because he's such a brilliant player. I'm speechless about the goal because it was that good, and it was just a lovely got round the ball, no chance for the keeper. It's one of them shots where it bounces just before it gets near the keeper, and the keepers just can't do a thing about it. And it's just the technique, the style of Isak that beat the keeper without a doubt. And he's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. What a finish that was, and that gave me a bit more motivation in the game. That gave me a bit more hope in the game. So going into the break 1-1, little morale booster, and let's go out in the second half and absolutely demolish them one, like we always do with some teams. But unfortunately, we'll move on to that. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I mean, going in at half time, I mean, obviously Sean Longstaff had a really bad first half. And I was one of them thinking, right, Eddie, rip into this side, get into them and tell them at half time, look, we're in it at 1-1, read the right act, tell them to get out there in the second half and go and win that game, and get Longstaff playing. I mean, look, I tend to agree with what Paul said from TTR as well last night. Paul from Toon Review said what Eddie should have done was kept Longstaff in the dressing room and said, there you go, Lewis Smiley, get yourself out, go and have 45 minutes. But you know what? He didn't. He sent the same side back out. And you think, right, okay, they've probably had a rocket at half time. Well, hopefully they've had a rocket from Eddie and they'll get out there and they'll do the business. And it was a total opposite. We were just so sloppy. Everything we were doing was just sloppy and it was just awful to watch. It really was. And then it was a matter of time, 12 minutes after in the second half, and, Cole Palmer gets in the scoring act, and it's like, we're 2-1 down, and you're just thinking, come on, we're better than this. What's going on here, Nice strike from Cole Palmer, but really, it's the sloppiness in our play is just absolutely awful, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, it's just so sloppy. Honestly, it's so sloppy, and I still don't get how Sean Longstaff didn't get subbed off at half time. You can, when I was watching the documentary in the summer, I was really intrigued what Eddie Howe actually says to the players at half time and if we're losing and stuff. Luckily, last season there was only a few matches where we were really badly losing at half time, and we were playing really badly. Fortunately, we probably won't get one this season. But he does lay into the players, and he's not afraid to lay into him. But I'm just really Eddie Howe isn't the sort of manager to sub a player off at half time. He isn't. He's too cautious with his subs, and he already made one in the first half. Jacob Murphy for Gordon. Yeah, I was really shocked that Longstaff even played the full game, let alone not be subbed off at half time. It's just allowing these sloppy players and allowing these players to let you down every single week. No wonder we're going to lose because you keep playing the players who make us lose and don't help the team. It's like playing with 10 men with Sean Longstaff. He just doesn't provide anything for the team. He don't provide anything. And like I said earlier, you're asking to get sacked if playing players like that week in, week out and not even subbing them off for playing bad. Because that's football at the end of the day. Players are on the sub bench because apparently they're meant to be on there because they're not good enough to be in the starting 11. So you're telling me Sean Longstaff's good enough to be in that starting 11 and played 90 minutes, and Lewis Miley, who comes on 15 minutes and gets an assist? It's mind-blowing. Yeah. It's mind-blowing. And it takes Miggy off for Anderson. Miggy's probably our only proper attacking threat, really. I'd never thought I'd be saying that. It takes him off for Anderson and keeps Longstaff on. I don't get it. Longstaff must be blackmailing Eddie Howe at some point here because there's no way he should be playing 90 minutes. There's just no way. If I was Eddie Howe, he'd be off. First half substitution for me, Sean Longstaff. Well, not even that. He wouldn't even be starting if I was the manager. He wouldn't even be on that starting lineup. He'd be so deep in the reserves. He'll be ridiculous. But Eddie Howe is just stubbornness yet again to not drop your worst players. You're gonna
Yeah.
lose if you're playing bad players. You are, and I don't get how he doesn't see it. I really don't.
The thing is, we can all see it with Longstaff, but Eddie Howe can't. That's the difference. Um, you know, and you know, over 50,000 fans can see that Longstaff isn't working. It's just the main boggles, and then obviously, we saw Mudryk get the third goal. He just waltzed through he just waltzed through everybody, and even left Shaw standing there like a statue, and goes round to Bravkan, puts it in the back of the net. And when it's gone to 3-1, you think, right, that's game over now, because it's good night. Again, it's not, like I say, it's not the best Chelsea side we faced. This is a team full of individuals, but they played more like a team last night than we did. But as I say, look, we know Byrne gets caught out at times, but I thought Byrne played okay last night, in all honesty. Yes, he got done a couple of times by Gusto, because Gusto's got pace. We know he's got pace. And that's the thing, everybody throws their pacey players on Byrne. You know it's going to happen every game. But with Longstaff, I just don't get it. I don't get it why he's playing. And when he made these substitutions, I was baffled, because I was expecting to see the number 36 shown. And when he took Miggy off for Anderson, that was the one that I was scratching my head at. I'm thinking, I'm scratching my head thinking, well, hang on a minute. Why is Miggy coming off for Anderson? Why don't you take Longstaff off and put Anderson in centre midfield? Anderson's not ready to play on the left yet. So I couldn't understand that, because I thought Miggy had a good game up until that point. And I've been an advocate of saying this for the last 18 months. I want to see Almiron play on the left, because if you look at his stats in the MLS, when he first came over here and played under Rafa, he played on the left. Under Bruce, he played here, there and everywhere, because Cabbage got no tactics whatsoever. He's a dinosaur. And then Eddie takes him as an inverted right winger, and people have a go at him because he's not that great, because the right wing is not Almiron's position. He's better on the left. And he even does the same for Paraguay. He plays on the left and comes in. But, we've seen glimpses when he's on the left how good he is, Almiron. And at least because he can use his left foot as well. But no, the fact that Sean Longstaff has just stayed on is just beyond the joke. The guy is a passenger. He's been a passenger for quite a long while now. And I just don't get why he stays on that pitch. And they're saying he's supposed to be getting injections before every game. Well, if that's the case, why even risking playing him then? Has the wrong Longstaff gone to Canada? That's the thing, Makes you wonder. But look, with that second half yesterday, it was just an awful second half. And yeah, Lewis Miley done more in 16 minutes when he was on the pitch than what Longstaff done in 96 minutes, which is frightening to think, that a youngster who's about 8-9 years younger than Sean Longstaff does more than what he does on the whole pitch, on the whole game, and it's just frightening. It really is. And you're just thinking, why is Eddie not taking them off? And then obviously, Miley comes up the assist, and Jacob Murphy smashes a beautiful ball into the back of the net. What a goal that was, to make it 3-2, and absolutely brilliant from Jacob Murphy. He's got the talent to go and stun us.
His face was all our faces after that goal. I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, where's that come from? Came from nowhere.
It was an amazing goal, wasn't it? But and then you think we've got 6 minutes to salvage something out of this, but we didn't, did we?
No. I didn't think 6 minutes was going to be added on. I'm like, ref, just blow a whistle. This is before the Murphy goal, by the way. I was like, ref, just blow a whistle. And then, like, next few seconds later, Murphy just scores a wonder goal. I'm like, oh, well, maybe. And I saw 6 minutes added on. I'm like, maybe we could get a goal, maybe a scrappy little goal to get 3-3. A point wouldn't be too bad for the way we performed. We just couldn't. And there was plenty of chances in that second half where we could have got a goal. It was just annoying because we shouldn't have lost that game. For me, we shouldn't have lost it, but we did. But I did think we maybe could have scored a third goal, maybe. I think we just scored a little too late there, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'd even put Joe White in ahead of Longstaff. That's how much I want to see Longstaff dropped,
Honestly, yeah, I agree. I mean, when he got subbed on in the Bournemouth game, he was the only real one who was really giving it some. He was really energetic. He was really doing something. And then yesterday again came on. It was a bright spark. Like 2 times in a row. These youngsters coming through are really, really showing the players like Longstaff. Like, just so you know, we're coming through, and you've got to be careful. You've got to play good every single week now because you're under a real risk. Look how Lewis Miller's come on. If I'm a midfielder in Lewis Miller's position, I'd be quite worried if I'm not performing great because he will just take a position like that because Lewis Miller is that good at his age, and he's got to be careful with his position because a lot of players coming through, a lot of players will be wanting to take his position off him, and that's why you got to play good week in, week out as a footballer. Otherwise, players take your positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew's seen as Botman Bramble in disguise. No, definitely not. He's a lot better than Bramble, let's be honest. But again, that's the thing. Is Botman fully fit? Is he carrying a knock still? Is he still
Probably.
not fully recovered from that injury? That's the thing.
Probably. I think he is as well. I think there's an element of risk rushing him back for me. He just doesn't seem fit enough to play the full game as well. And we got Lascelles there, who's playing brilliantly. I mean, when you play against Blackburn, he only made one mistake. Unfortunately, that led to a goal. But Lascelles been brilliant this season, and thankfully he's signed a year's extension. So use him, and if he doesn't use him, if he sticks with Sharon Botman against Man City, you're asking to be hammered. You're asking to be hammered. I would start Lascelles against Man City. I really would, because Lascelles, he's fully fit. He's doing really well at the minute. There's no reason not to play him.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jack. I mean, that's a tough game Saturday. But I mean, I just look at that performance last night now. I'm just not impressed one little bit. David says at least Joe White made a tackle and got a yellow card, but obviously he's saying it wasn't a yellow card. I mean, it doesn't matter if it is or not, but it was more like a tactical foul. But at least he got his body in there and had a go. But more than Longstaff does. Longstaff's too pedestrian for me. Yes, he runs about a bit, but that doesn't win you games, And they'll say, oh, he's great at passing. He'll have like an 85% pass rate. Yeah, probably because he's passing side to side or forward and back, That's why he's getting that. That's why he's getting the way he is. But look, Longstaff's not great, let's be honest. And look, when I said sell Longstaff in the summer, some people, I think it was Derek who said to me, "Oh, we can't sell Longstaff in the summer." I'm like, "Well, why not?" And then Derek says, "I think we'll want 40 million for Longstaff." We'll not get 40 million. He's only got a year left on his deal. If we get 25 million, we'll be lucky. But if we sell him, it'll be good for FFP because we get 100% profit as well on Longstaff because he's come through the academy. I mean, would you sell him in the summer?
Not 40 million. I mean, if 40 million, then you've just been absolutely done over there. If you're paying 40 million for Longstaff, sorry, I'm slapping your wrist off. I'm taking that 40 million. Thank you very much. I mean, Maxi went for 20 million, and Max is far better. He's probably far better midfielder than Longstaff is. Yeah, I think if we've got the option and there's a good valuation for Longstaff, I'd sell him. I rated Matty as well, and I never forget that goal he scored against Manchester United. Never forget that. And I actually rated Matty Longstaff as a really, really good player. And it's such a shame that he's not really progressed with Newcastle because of a certain man whose first name begins with S and second name begins with B, who's ruined his career. Let's be honest, he's ruined his career. And it's such a shame. But if we had the option to sell Sean Longstaff, yeah, I would. There he is.
There he is.
That's the guy who ruined Mike Longstaff's career. If we had the option, I'd sell him for me. We've got plenty of
Yeah.
midfielders coming back. Tonali gets over Longstaff any day of the week, twice on a Sunday. Tonali is just twice the player that Longstaff is. So I can't wait for Sandro to be back. And also you got Joelinton to be back as well. We're getting some midfielders back. And unfortunately, Sean Longstaff, he's probably thinking, well, I don't have to try my absolute hardest because I know Eddie Howe's going to play me every single week. And Joelinton's out for the rest of the season. And Tonali's not coming back to the start of next season. So maybe that's the possible thinking behind Longstaff. That's not good enough for me. Probably isn't, though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make false accusations. But yeah, if we had the option to sell him, I would.
Yeah. I mean, it's like people were saying last night, oh, Willock's not having the greatest game. Yeah, he doesn't look on the pace. He doesn't look on the ball, on the pace. Look, the thing is, at the end of the day, what people have got to remember is Willock's just come back from a long injury layoff. He came back, then he broke down again, then he's been out for quite a while now. So we've got to remember, Willock's only just come back, so give the guy a chance to get up to speed. He's got to get back up to speed with the Premier League. He's got to get his match fitness back as well. So, yes, okay, he might not have looked great last night, but as I say, just give him a chance. He's getting his fitness back. Once he's back in full flow, Joe Willock, he makes our team tick. We've missed him this season, massively missed him this season. And on Tonali, I mean, look, there's rumours going on the FA could slap an extended ban on Tonali till the end of 2024. If they do that, that just shows you how much corruption runs deep in the FA and how much they're looking after that big six cartel. But
it's 10 months not enough.
While they are in their rights to hammer him with a ban because he's done it in Italy, but he's playing in this country, so he's brought this FA into disrepute. They can hit him with an extended ban. But what will annoy me more if they do ban him till the end of the year, but then they give Ivan Toney, who was probably a lot worse than what Tonali was, to be honest with you, and yet he gets banned for 8 months, but 3 months of that's over the pre-season. So technically he only missed 5 months of the season and he comes back. So I'm sorry, if the FA hammer Tonali with a ban, I think it's an absolute disgrace. And I think the FA should just drop whatever it is and just say, look, he's served his time. That's it. Move on. Simple as. What about you, Jack?
I agree. Is 10 months not enough? And we're already missing him daily. And the fact that he can't even play any pre-season games is really, really bad for me. Really, really bad. Yeah, he's in the wrong. But he's got issues. He had issues. And it's an illness, really. And he can't really help with illnesses. Such as betting. It happens a lot with people. So, yeah, 10 months. You've given him the ban. You've given him the 10 months. Just leave it out. He's serving the 10 months. He's still training. He's not playing matches. He's playing everything by the book. Give him the 10 months and then move on. So, yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Jam Stasher says, perhaps not Jody, but I know a few of us across the pond here that never rate Longstaff, never. I mean, under Benitez, he came back from Blackpool on loan, and I thought he played well for Benitez, and then he was like touted for a £50 million move to Man United, which surprisingly our former owner turned down, which is surprising. Given that every time the player comes available for transfer, the pound signs are flashing. But yeah, he lost his way under Steve Bruce, the old cabbage heat. He lost 2 years of his career there. Eddie Howe's getting him back on track, but from the player he was last year, he's gone backwards again this season. Massively gone backwards. So as far as I'm concerned, Longstaff can go in the summer, and he can be easily replaced. And we've got Elliot Anderson who can play there as well. Lewis Miley can play there. So it's not like we're short of midfielders. Yeah, but for me, get rid of Longstaff in the summer, I say. Predator says, don't want to see Longstaff anywhere near that first 11 anymore this season or till he's sold. Derek says, I said that he's worth as much as McTominay and Manu. I wanted 40 million for him. Yeah, Derek, exactly. But I can't see anybody paying 40 million for Longstaff now. Not the way he's playing, unless you're going to get someone like Forrest who'll probably buy him for stupid money. But other than that, I can't see anybody paying 40 million. I think even if we get 25 million, I think we'll be lucky, to be fair, Derek. What about you, Jack?
I agree. He's probably 15 to 20 million, £20 million player, really, for me. He's not anywhere near 40, not anywhere near 30. Yeah, I think 15 to 20 million for me, long stuff. And it's not bad, I guess. But obviously, I want a little more because we're us fans. We want the most money we can, and clubs we're greedy. So, yeah. But I think he's a 15 to 20 million pound player for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronald says the FA cannot again ban Tonali. They wouldn't effing dare. They can, no, Ronald. If you look up it, you can look it up, and it does state that they are allowed to. If a player has been charged by another association, and he is currently playing in this association, so he's currently playing in the English Premier League, the FA can hit him with a further sanctions if they want to. It's in their jurisdiction to do that. So it's weird because all this come about because Fagioli decided to grass them up, and he got 5 months knocked off his 12-month suspension, so he only has to serve 7 months. Zaniolo was obviously there to put the boot in as well, and that's why it's unbelievable. He's just getting away with it altogether. And obviously Tonali's, been hit hard. At least the one thing we can say though, and we can be thankful of, is that it's a ban, but it's not a total ban, because he can actually go and train in the training ground, where Ivan Toney couldn't train with these teams. So in some ways, yes, while Tonali can't play in the first team, but at least he can go to the training sessions and train with the lads, which is great anyway. And and that helps his mental health as well. That the fact he can be there with the lads and training in the training ground, and and he seems pretty happy as well. I thought Tonali could play any non-FA games this season, so can play pre-season. Yeah, I think he can do. I think he can play behind the closed doors games as well. So I think they've got some of them lined up as well. So yeah,
I don't think he can.
he can or not? No,
I don't think he can. I think I read up when it came out. I said no preseason games, even behind closed doors. I think they said that. I may be wrong. But I'm like 75, 25. 75
yeah.
going towards probably no, he can't. But I might be wrong.
Yeah, Ryan says, Tony, I'm sick of these happy clapper fans accepting mediocrity and having to go fans that have standards and accountability. Do you know what, Ryan? I'm glad you brought that up, mate. Absolutely, because look, what gets me is, if you go out there and you criticise or you have any criticism towards Eddie Howe, they'll jump on you like a ton of bricks. And when the former manager was there, the old cabbage head, because that's how we'll call him, when he was there and he was playing shit football, all us fans were criticising him. Want him out, want him out, want him out. Where were these fans then saying, oh, hang on, you can't have him sacked. He's a great manager. He does well for the team, Was these happy clappers there then? No, they weren't. That's the thing. They weren't there then. But now, since the takeover, and I've said this for a long time, when this takeover happened, the fan base, some part of the fan base became so toxic, and it was unbelievable how toxic it actually came. It actually became. And like I say, if you say anything about Eddie Howe, you will get hammered. You get hammered. And it's like, hang on a minute. Sorry, Eddie Howe's not untouchable. When we played Man City at St James's Park, and and I saw on a Man City fan channel, I think it was on Martin's channel, Mancunian Way, and one of his guests on there, Man City fan, he actually criticised Guardiola for playing Kyle Walker in that game when Anthony Gordon outstripped him for pace. He said Kyle Walker shouldn't have been playing. What the hell's Pep Guardiola doing, playing him? Because obviously he was in the middle of, he was having some affair with some other woman. Now then, the thing is, where were the Man City fans jumping on that guy for criticising Guardiola? You didn't see it because they don't do that. They don't jump on him for criticising Guardiola because everybody's got their own opinions. And that's the same with our fan base. We have our own opinions. And if somebody says they're not happy because Eddie Howe's done this, and some are saying, well, we're happy with Eddie Howe and that, but we're not happy with this, then have the right to say it. Don't be afraid to say it if you're not happy. Like Eddie Howe keep playing Longstaff. He's playing his favourites. And I'm going to say he's playing his favourites. Bournemouth fans have said it. That's what's cost him his job at Bournemouth. Yes, okay, it might be mutual consent he left. But, mutual consent can mean anything. He could have resigned, or he could have been told, look, if you don't resign, we're sacking you. Simple as. So, look, that's why he lost his job there, in a way, because he was playing his favourites there, Liz Mousset was one of his favourites, apparently, and Bournemouth fans didn't like him. Jordan Ibe was another one, where's Jordan Ibe playing now? Non-league football. So, look, no manager is immune from criticism, and Eddie Howe, when he left Bournemouth, he went around Europe. He went to see Sarri. He went to see Simeone. He stood with Klopp. Now, if he was learning off these managers, then where are we seeing it now at Newcastle? Because I'm not seeing anything that he's learned. If he's learned so much on these managers, yes, okay, the shithousery side we're seeing that's learned from Simeone, which we've seen that. But what we're not seeing with Eddie Howe is, and I think Jack will agree with this as well, there's no plan B from Eddie Howe. The substitutions are baffling, you look at the substitutions and you're thinking, well, why are you leaving it so late? And I think when I done the preview the other day, I said, if you go back to the Man United game against Man City last weekend, Doku had a bad game for City. He was absolutely dreadful for City. And the minute City equalised in the second half through Phil Foden's firecracker of a goal, what did Pep Guardiola do? He took Doku off and put Alvarez straight on. And people said, oh yeah, but you can't see, but we haven't got that sort in our team. And I'm saying, no, what I'm trying to say is that's what an elite manager does. That's what a top manager does. He looks and he sees that player's not playing well. And as soon as I got the equaliser, he's thinking, right, I'm going to change it straight away now. I'm going to put another attacker on and go out and win this game because this guy's not doing enough for me. So he's getting taken off and he's coming on. Am I right, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, and every elite manager has got plans, and they do approach some games differently. Klopp got a lot of criticism last season, and rightly so, because Liverpool were crap last season. They're a lot better this season, but they were really bad last season. Pep Guardiola, Man City have dips in their form at times, mainly at the start of the season, and then they start to grow into the season. Once all Champions League and stuff starts to die down. But Eddie Howe, I mean, sometimes he starts the 4-3-3, and I also do see him switch to a 4-5-1 at times. But when things might not go his way in the game, that's probably when he thinks, "Oh God, what do I do now? What do I do now? I'll leave it. And then we go and concede more goals. And if you want to be an elite manager, if you want to go to the right, really top, if you want to go to the top, that's a lot of tops in that sentence. If you want to go to the top as a manager. When I go to the top as a manager, you got to have a plan B. You got to know what you're doing in certain situations, and you got to have a plan B that you can fall back on that you trust. Unfortunately, we don't know this, but from what we're seeing, Eddie Howe doesn't have a plan B, and that could cost him Well, it is costing him really, and he needs to have a plan B. He needs to be a bit more intelligent going into games. He's definitely got the mindset. He definitely knows what he's doing. He doesn't implement it in some games.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris is in the chat. Hi, Chris. Hope you're well, mate. He's getting a little one to sleep by the sounds of things as well. Alessandro says, when the cameras pan to the crowd and I see people jumping up and down like they are at a sheer concert, it grinds my gears if we're getting our ass whooped. Why are you clapping like Momo? I mean, look, yeah, I mean,
They're showing their appreciation for the team, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Because we haven't had
absolutely.
this. I mean, to be fair, years ago we'd take a 3-2 loss at Stamford Bridge. We'd absolutely take it because normally we get spanked 5-0 at Stamford Bridge. I think the fans they're just showing their appreciation. Maybe some of them might be drunk, who knows? But maybe they're just showing their appreciation for what Eddie Howe's done and what the team has done. And I really do. I don't mind it. It don't grind my gears. It may obviously Alessandro grind your gears. It's absolutely fine. But I don't know. I'm not too fussed about it. The fans can do what they want. It's a free country. You can do what you want, really. But it just doesn't really grind my gear. For me, it's just supporting the team. I mean, what would you rather? Our fans cheering and clapping the players off, or do you want them booing the players off? I know what I'd rather. And if you're a player right now, what would you rather? Even though you perform really badly, what would you rather? Your team back you, or the team, or your fans back you, or the fans boo you? I'd take fans back you all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. Tanji's got a good point. Yeah, he says, bearing in mind how poor defensive we've been collectively as a team this season, maybe Mourinho is the best option going forward. Now, the thing is, a lot of fans say they don't want Mourinho. He plays boring football, you know, he's stellar football shit and he's past it and all this, right? Right. Let's put a couple of things into context here. And first of all, Mourinho's a winner. He's a serial winner. The guy has won a hell of a lot of trophies when he was at Chelsea, before he went to Chelsea when he was at Porto. He's even won trophies at Barcelona as assistant manager to Bobby Robson, the great Sir Bobby Robson, who we all know Mourinho looks up to. And every time he used to visit St James's Park, he always put flowers down at Bobby's statue as well. So we know how much Newcastle means to Mourinho because of Bobby Robson. He always says this is Sir Bobby's home. Now, yes, okay, some people might say he plays the boring football or whatever. But what say he comes to Newcastle and doesn't play boring football and he plays attacking football? As I say, the guy's an elite manager, you know. Yes, he might not have done well at, say, Tottenham. He didn't win them a trophy. He won Man U a trophy. He won Roma a trophy. You know, so just to say that he comes to Newcastle and say, you know, and people say he plays boring, he may not play. He may play a different style of football altogether and surprise everybody. You know, I mean, look, Mourinho might. I'm not saying he is coming to Newcastle because Eddie Howe's still the manager. But all I'm saying is, if it was ever in the pipeline that happened, then would I be annoyed at Mourinho coming? Not really, because you know, some of his press conferences can be very, very funny. You know, we've seen it in the past. You know, he doesn't take no nonsense. Obviously, you won't go down the lines of joking here, by the way, of every 50 word rant, which was every word was a swear word, because that's just an embarrassment for a manager to do that. But look, would I honestly be disappointed in Mourinho? Not really. There's other managers out there I'd like to have if there was a choice. But you know, if it's Mourinho, I would never. What about you, Jack? Mourinho?
I like Mourinho, but nowadays seeing him getting sacked left, right, and centre by Roma, and other clubs, I'm honestly just not. I'm not wowed by it. from me. I wouldn't be fully wowed by it. It's honestly great. He's a great manager, but I feel like he's getting past his time now a little bit, and he's getting sacked quite a bit. And I don't know. Obviously, as you said, he's got a lot of love for Sir Bobby Robson. Everyone does. How can you hate the man? And I think he'd bring a lot of passion to Newcastle, without a doubt. But I don't know. I'm not. I wouldn't be overly convinced by it.
Yeah. Gary says, hi everyone. It seems some fans want a new manager, then when he loses the first game, sack him and get another one. When he loses a game, sack him, etc. I mean, look, nobody said that about Eddie Howe. All we're saying is, at the moment, Eddie Howe is just not getting anything. At the moment, things are not just clicking right. I mean, look, against Wolverhampton Wanderers, it was great. We beat them 3-0. We thought, yes, that's the Newcastle of old. We're back, you know. And then we go to Chelsea and, you know, we make Chelsea look like Barcelona, you know. So I think that's where the fans are a lot of fans who were Howe in, some fans are now going to Howe out because they're seeing the team's not progressing. And that is the thing. Now, somebody I know made a great point saying Eddie Howe may not be a great manager, but is a great coach. And I think it was Derek who said that last night. I think if I remember, I'm sure if you're still in the chat, Derek, I think it was you that said that last night, wasn't it? Eddie's a great coach, but not a great manager. And I can see where, if it was Derek, I can see where he's coming from on that one. What about you, Jack?
I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, you cut out a little bit there. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so I think it was Derek last night who said that Eddie Howe is a great coach, which is different from being a manager.
Yeah. I think he's talking about the game management, isn't he? He's brilliant at producing quality out of nothing. We see him when he took over from Steve Bruce. He really transformed some players, but I feel like he's good at developing players, and as he's a brilliant coach and he's a brilliant manager. But I feel like he is a better coach than he is manager for me. But he's still a brilliant manager. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's brilliant at producing quality from nothing.
Yeah. Blakey says, okay, Eddie kept us up and then got us into the top four. Brilliant. We thank him for that, but that doesn't give him a free pass going forward. He needs to get results. Do you want to win or be sentimental? I mean, it's coming out from Luke Edwards tonight. Apparently, Eddie Howe will start next season as the manager of Newcastle United, as he's very friendly with the owners. But again, we've seen this before in football where they say, this manager's going to be here next season, and then they're not. They're gone. I mean, look, Luke Edwards, you know, sometimes you don't know whether to believe him or not. I mean, what's your thoughts, Jack? Do you think Eddie Howe's going to be manager next season here, or do you think we'll replace him in the summer even?
I don't think we'll replace him this summer. I think he will be next season. I think he's got enough credit in the bank for me. Eddie Howe, he's done enough, and I feel like he's faced a lot of problems this season, and I feel like it's unfair because it would have been really nice to give him a full season this season without as many problems as we've had. I feel like if we didn't have as many of these problems, I think he would have thrived this season. So I feel like it wouldn't be. It wouldn't. I think it'd be unfair to sack him now and not give him the start of next season. If he starts next season really poorly, sorry, we're giving you the chance. I think it's time for you to go. But I feel like he should start next season, and I don't like this being friendly with the owners. I want ruthless owners, and I feel like if he's not doing a good enough job, I don't get how friendly he is. Gone, because we know how ruthless these salaries can be, and Eddie has done a fantastic job. But if it does get to the point where it's getting a bit ridiculous now, I want these owners to be ruthless with any manager we get in the future. Yeah, I give him the start of next season without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the same Amanda likes Eddie. That's the thing, and it, you know, But, you know, you can like somebody, but then, you know, if they're not doing the job, you've got to make a change. You know, the Saudis, PIF, it depends how much they want to put up with this. That's the thing. If we don't qualify for Europe, and this is another question I'm going to ask you as well, Jack. If we don't qualify for Europe, and after watching Bruno's interview when we played Forest and he spoke after the game, and he actually mentioned being in Europe, if we don't get Europe next season, do you think he's gone?
Yeah, I think he is gone. You can't have players like Bruno, Isak. They deserve Europe with the players that they are. They deserve Europe. So I think Bruno would be gone in the summer if we don't get Europe, because players like it's their careers. It's their careers. They can't hold on forever. They need to move on with their careers. And if we're not providing what they want and what they need in their career, then unfortunately they've got to move. They've got to. But I'm still relatively confident we'll get some Europe this season. We're not that far away. We're only 1 or 2 wins off a European place, so I'm not worried yet. But I do feel like if we don't get Europe, I think Bruno is gone. Unfortunately, don't have them thoughts in my head because I love Bruno a lot, but also we'll get a lot of money for him if he does go. We will get a lot of money. Bit like West Ham, basically. Bit like West Ham. West Ham can't provide Champions League football for Declan Rice. He's had to go in the summer, but West Ham got 100 million out of him. Spurs couldn't offer Champions League football for Harry Kane. He's gone for 100 million. And now look what West Ham have done with the money. Look what Spurs have done with the money. It does help some teams out. And now look at Spurs.
Yeah.
Spurs finished 9th or 8th last season. And now look at them. They're possibly going to get Champions League football this season. So it's not the end of the world, but I do feel like if we don't get Europe, he is gone.
Yeah. Martin from Mancunian Ways in the chat. Good evening, Martin. He says, "You ready for the weekend, lads?" Well, as ready as we can be. He says, "We'll never know." He says, "Yes, we're favourites, but stranger things happen. We have to take it seriously." I mean, yeah, absolutely. You know, anything can happen on a football field, can't it? You know, so who knows? It's going to be a walk in the park for you guys, says Mighty Mag. Gary says, "I think the players should be criticised first before Eddie Howe. They should be ashamed of themselves after last night." I mean, look, I looked at quite a few of them players last night, and do you think, Jack, looking at them players last night, some of them just looked like they're just down tools and that was it? They weren't interested in anymore.
Yeah, I feel like they couldn't be asked, some of them, to be honest, yesterday. Like, we'll link it back to the Longstaff as well. Can't be asked to win 50-50s. Can't be asked to go for 50-50s in the midfield. And Cher got nutmegged. Couldn't be asked. I mean, Cher can be quite petulant sometimes, Cher. He can be quite arsey. Things aren't going his way. So I think some players did down tools, and some of the players did give up, and some players didn't give up. And it's not good enough for me. It's not good. It's not good enough. You don't down tools on a football field because you're one of 11 out there, and if you're down in tools, you're not letting yourself down. You're letting the team down, and you're letting the club down. You're letting the fans down. So yeah, it's not right. It's not right to down tools at all.
Yeah, Tanji says Mourinho will be ruthless when he needs to be, unlike Howe, who is stubborn with his favourites. I mean, that's the thing. If, you know, if that was Mourinho in that dugout, yes, Longstaff probably wouldn't have been on that pitch after half time. He would have been hooked, you know. You look at West Ham with Calvin Phillips, it took him off at half time. And I've got a mate who's a West Ham fan, and he says that's the worst signing West Ham have made, apparently.
I mean,
because he's been so poor.
They've made some dodgy signings. I mean, Sebastian Haller was a weird signing. I mean, he didn't stay for too long. But yeah, Calvin Phillips, I think we have dodged a little. I don't know with people saying we dodged a bullet. I'm not sure, because we'll link it back to Eddie Howe being a good coach. Would it have been a different story if he joined Newcastle? Because that's what we're saying with Anthony Gordon. People like Everton fans like cheers for the 40 million. We've absolutely robbed you there. Now look at him now. He's one of the best wingers this season in the Premier League. It's just what Eddie Howe does to players. He changes players. So maybe it might have been a different story. It might have been a different story It is hard to criticise Calvin Phillips because he's had such a rough time since moving to Man City. He shouldn't have moved. He shouldn't have moved. Simple as that. It's a stupid move for him. Um, it's a real hangover it's a Man City hangover for Calvin Phillips, and he was prepared to go to Man City to stay on the bench every week. He knew he weren't going to start. Simple. You're going against Rodri, one of the best CDMs in the world. You're not going to be starting every single week. So it's his fault, really, in my opinion. It's his fault. He shouldn't have moved. He moved for the money, probably, and it's his fault, really. And he does deserve a little bit of time to get back to speed, really.
Yeah. Billy the Fish makes a good comment there. He says Mancini to Newcastle be a canny bet, being the Saudi national coach. I mean, do you know what? Mancini, good manager, absolutely.
I haven't heard Mancini in a while. I haven't heard his
He's
name
the
in
Saudi
a long
Arabian
while.
coach now.
Is he?
Yeah, he left it when he left Italy. He went there.
Last time last time he managed was last time I remember him managing was Man City. Didn't he manage someone else before? Didn't he manage West Ham? No, did he?
Mancini, no. You're not thinking of Canio.
I'll research that. I think I swear he managed another Premier League side.
He might have. I know he managed
No,
Man City.
no, of course not. Oh, he went. He was Italian. The Italy's former coach, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, he's not a bad manager, I guess. He's won the Euros before. Yeah, he's not bad. He's won the Premier League.
Yeah. I'm not how out, says Ronald, but I'm starting to climb up that fence now. Mancunian Way Martin, he says Chelsea aren't as bad as many say. It's the board that's the issue there. They have quality players, to be honest, and they want to play some great football when they want to play great football. Yeah, they've got some good players there, but it's just badly managed, doesn't it? Todd Bowley just thinks he's playing FIFA, doesn't he? Absolutely. Tanji says playing players with injuries isn't good game management. How players have come back from injury just to get injured again and again. I mean, we saw that with Murphy, didn't we, when he came back from his shoulder and then it dropped again and he had to go back and then he was out for quite a while, wasn't he? So it's not great, is it?
No.
Derek says we didn't make Chelsea look like Barcelona. They look like shite. But we were worse with it too. Many players having a bad day at the office. Get over it. Yeah, it was a bad day at the office for us, Derek. Absolutely. And yeah, like I say, some of those players, I think, down tools in that game. It looked like it was like a last end of the season game where you're just looking forward to getting on your summer holidays. That's what it looked like last night.
Yeah.
Morton says, anyway, just popped on to say hello. Best of luck for the rest, apart from obviously on Saturday. Thanks, Martin. The Etihad of the South is calling, hopefully.
I'm not looking forward to that game at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not either. Eddie may be friends with the lot, yeah, the ownership, but I'm sure the relationship with the higher-ups of PIF are mutual. Paul says we have to see what he brings in to improve the team. I mean, yeah, we've got to. Jam Stasher says, bottom line is we need our injured players back and we need a serious upgrade in certain positions this summer that we should have started last summer. I mean, we've had some injured players back. But yeah, I see what you mean by that. And I know there's certain positions we do need to upgrade on, like the right wing, for instance. That needs upgrading. Left back as well. We really need a DM as well, don't we, Jack?
Yeah. We've got Bruno needs to play more forward. Joelinton's not a sitting midfielder. He's a ball-winning midfielder, but he's not. He's a box-to-box. He's not a sitting midfielder. A prime Calvin Phillips would have been nice. Phillips would have been nice. But we do need someone who's disciplined in that position and He can take the ball, bring it out from the back. Really good at keeping possession, nicely composed. A player like that would really suit us and would really strengthen us up as well in the midfield.
Lad at Mönchengladbach would do that for us. Kone.
Yeah,
Hell of a player.
I mean, we got a lot of money to spend this summer, so we'll see what happens.
Tanji says Sir Bobby would have played the kids to motivate them. I'm not sure Eddie has that motivational trait as managers like Sir Bobby and Kevin Keegan. I mean, what do you make of that, Jack?
Chelsea. You don't play kids against Chelsea.
No.
It's a must-win game. Unfortunately, we didn't win it. You don't play kids against Chelsea for me.
Andrew says 7-0 at the weekend. I bet you he thinks we'll win 7-0. I hope so, Andrew. That would be great, mate. I'll just take 1-0 on Saturday, I tell you. I'll take that all day. Ian says, do you think we can hold on to our main players next season if we're not in Europe? Ian, if I'm honest, mate, I don't know. I would like to think we could, but Bruno, I think, would be away. Isak could possibly go as well. It's going to be hard. So I really don't know. What about you, Jack? I can't see Bruno staying if we haven't got European players. So
I can't either. But there's a downside and there's a good side. Downside, we're losing the really good players. The upside, we're getting a lot of money. So it's take it however the way you want it, really. But it's I don't think we'll be able to keep all of some of these players. But I think we're very lucky we got Bruno on that big fat contract in September. So we'll get a lot of money for him if we sell him. A lot.
Ryan says, to be honest, I'm not surprised Gordon got injured. He was never rested and Howe should have known better. I mean, look, we had 9 days between Wolves and Chelsea, didn't we, really? But
yeah.
And Ryan also says, people live and die by Howe just because he saved us from relegation. Cool. That was in the past. And in the present, it's not been good enough. That's fair enough, that. Preta says, past caring what anyone says. If I criticise the team or the staff, I'm entitled to my opinions. If you don't like them, no bother. Jog the F on. Then I won't lose any sleep over it. Absolutely. I mean, look, you shouldn't be afraid to express your opinions, should you, Jack?
No. It's your opinion. No matter how bad it is, it's your opinion. And no matter how people take it, it's people's opinion. It doesn't matter, really. That's the whole point about it. You express your opinion. If someone doesn't agree, we debate it. That's what conversations and debates are all about. People will have different opinions to you, and people will agree to disagree sometimes. That's the whole point of an opinion. You just don't take it to heart.
Absolutely. But yeah, Saturday, like I say, that's going to be a difficult game. If I normally pick 3 players out is to see where I think the top 3 players were in the team. It's very hard to pick out 3 players. Considering how bad we were yesterday.
Tino's got to be up there.
I've come up with 3 players who I think, and I'm going to go in the reverse order, and then I'll ask you for your opinions on your 3 as well. 3rd place, although he was only on the pitch for 15, 16 minutes, whatever, I'm going Lewis Miley. I thought when he came on, he'd done a lot more work in that 16 minutes than Longstaff did in 96 minutes. So Lewis Miley for me comes in 3rd place. 2nd place, I'm putting Jacob Murphy. I thought he put some great balls in the box. And that goal he scored as well. Fantastic goal. I could put Isak in there as well. But I'm putting Murphy in there just ahead of Isak. And top of that list is Tino Livramento. I thought he was the best player for us on the pitch on the night. Everything he did, his defending was spot on. Yes, he did fade a little bit when he went out to the left. I prefer him at right back. He's better at right back than he is at left back, in my opinion. Derek's rightly said before, when he's played at left back, he has got skinned. Yes, he has. And I totally agree with Derek on that. But right back is where he should be anyway, not a left back. So that's the three I'm going for. So Miley in third place, Murphy second, and Tino at the top. What about you, Jack?
Third place, I'll go Miley. Yeah, I go Miley. I think mine might be the same as yours actually. Tino's got to be first. Tino's definitely first because Tino was the only one who was really, really giving it something yesterday. I was stunned how good he was yesterday. It was ridiculous how good he was. Tino's first place. I'll go first place, third place. First place, Tino. Second place. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard one.
It is.
Murphy and Almiron didn't do too bad. Almiron was the pretty much only attacking threat really in the second half. I'll go Murphy second, Almiron third.
Almiron third.
I would go Lewis Miley, but he didn't play enough for me. He didn't play enough minutes.
Yeah, he should have been on a lot longer though.
Yeah, without a doubt. Should have been on 45 minutes. Well, not 90 minutes. Should have started the game.
Yeah.
Don't know what he's done to be dropped. I don't know what he's done to be on the bench. I really don't.
No. Blakey's saying, Tatley, Eddie's a one-trick pony. He's inept. He's proved it time and time again. He picks his favourites. I mean, look, I'm coming to that next, the next one now. I mean, look, what's your rating of Eddie Howe last night, Jack? Be as honest as you want.
I'll go 4.
4.
I'll go 4 for Eddie Howe. Really poor game management. He set the team out well. We started well. He passed on the right message. Started a decent lineup, I guess. But his in-game management, his in-game subs, when he's taking off Bruno, Willock, he's taking off all these players, still keeping Longstaff on the pitch, taking off your most creative attacking threat, and taking off Miggy Armon for Elliot Anderson. You're just throwing the game away there. You're just giving up there. You're just giving up. And that, unfortunately, that's not good enough for me. That's not good enough. You don't give a game up like that. So it was poor, really, really poor from Eddie last night, and he will get a 4 from me. It's not good enough from Eddie. He needs to be better. But it's not just Eddie. It's also the players as well. Eddie can't play for him. Eddie has a game plan. The players have to execute it on the pitch, and Eddie can only manage them as much as they can. It's just like when you're doing an exam. Your teachers can only teach you only a certain amount. They can't write the paper for you. You have to go and write it yourself, and that's exactly the same with football.
Yeah. Gary said, I think it's funny social media stating Gordon's out for 6-7 months. He hasn't had a scan yet. Some people, I mean, Lee Ryder's put it out there tonight, Lee Ryder from the Chronicle, and he said the club are saying that the injury is not as bad as first thought. So fingers crossed, because I would love to see that lad get to the Euros in the summer, because I think he'd be absolutely fantastic for England. I really do.
Yeah.
Could be a huge difference for them. Andrew says, I want a boss who knows how to get over the line and win and not bottle big games. I mean, look, Eddie Howe last night, I think he just got his selections wrong. There's times when you saw the camera pan on Eddie Howe and he lost on that touchline, if I'm honest. He looked as if he was bereft of ideas. Yeah, I wasn't too convinced last night by Eddie Howe. And I think what's let him down the most is the fact he left Longstaff on for the whole 96 minutes. As I see, the substitutions were just a bit like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, okay, Dan Burn had to come off. He got an injury when he went for that shot. Look, in Kraft can't play left back, so you obviously put Liverment over there. We couldn't have Lewis Hall because he can't play against his parent club.
Probably wouldn't have played him anyway.
Well, yeah, he probably wouldn't have, would he? So that's the thing I'm going to ask you, Jack, because look, nobody seems to know what's in this contract. Nobody's got a clue. Nobody knows. Now, I'm like some people thinking, I think there's a clause in that contract if he plays so many games. Now we're hearing different things. I think there's a clause in there if he plays a certain amount of games, we buy him. If he doesn't, he goes back to Chelsea. I think that's that clause. But there's also another clause somebody thinks that's saying if we finish anywhere 15th or below, then we don't have to buy him. Which I find rather strange, to be fair. Why would you put a clause of that in there for, you know? What's your thoughts, Lewis? Or do you think this is unfair that he's not getting any game time? Or do you
I
think
don't.
it is that the fact of the clause in the contract?
I don't think it's any of the two you said. Personally, for me, I think Eddie's got a plan. I think he's got a plan, and when it's coming out saying we are going to trigger the release clause of Lewis Hall, Eddie's got a plan, and he's got to stick by him. He's definitely got a plan. He definitely knows what he's doing, and he's definitely gonna play him next season without a doubt. And trust me on this, he's got a plan. That's all I'm gonna say. He's got a plan. Just see what happens. Because Eddie, he's all about plans. He is always about plans, and I feel like there's something that he's gonna cook next season. Something's brewing, and I feel like he knows very well what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a feeling he's got a plan. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm wrong, but I feel like he has got a plan with Lewis Hall.
Tanji says Arsenal's heading for extra time. I wonder if the bottle jobs are back to falling apart towards the end of the season again. I mean, their next game's City, isn't it? And that's not an easy game for them. But our next game, Jack, in the Prem.
They've actually not been that bad today, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, I'm watching it now. They've actually not been too bad.
I mean, our next game, Jack's a big game. It's a 6-pointer, if you want to put it that way. We got West Ham at home, and that's going to be a tough game, isn't it?
I'm going to that one.
You're going, are you?
Yeah. Oh God. I think we'll beat them. I think we'll beat them. I think we will beat West Ham at home. West Ham under really bad form at the minute, drawing to Burnley. Yeah, I don't think their form has definitely gone down a little bit. So I think we can beat them there. And R12 kickoffs could be an early start. I'll tell you what. I think R12. We're never really good at R12 kickoffs, are we?
No.
Especially at home. I mean, Forest 3-1 R12. Villa 3-0 loss. We tend to concede 3 goals at R12 kickoff. So hopefully that's not the case. Yeah, but it's going to be a weird game. But I think we will win. I think we will win, though.
Yeah. Last season, Leeds away 2-2.
Oh, we are not good at half-12 kickoffs. I don't like half-12 kickoffs.
Paul says, I think we'll also look at a striker if Isak goes and Bruno goes as well. Let's hope not. But, I mean, look, Callum Wilson, obviously, it looks like he's going to be out for the season, I think, anyway. I'm writing him off for the rest of the season anyway. Whether he comes back or not, I don't know. But in the summer, Callum Wilson, I think he's done well for the club, but I would sell him on because we can't risk this too much, having a striker that can play 2 games and then gets injured again.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, do you believe all the rumours going around that he wasn't happy about not getting that loan to Atletico Madrid and he's fell out with the club over that, or what?
No, I don't believe that. Don't believe that nonsense. No, I don't. Yeah, I think he's happy at Newcastle.
Paul says goalkeeper, left back, centre back, DM, right winger, and striker needed in the summer.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think if Dubravka's going to be a number 2, I don't think he'll hang around Dubravka. He'll want to go.
I think Pope walks into the side, for being honest. I think Pope walks into it. I think, yes, to that Mudryk goal, I think Pope would have come out earlier to that.
Yeah, absolutely. They reckon Pope's not back till April now. He's had a little bit of a setback, so April he'll be back.
Bloody hell. What is it?
Yeah, exactly.
What is it with these setbacks?
I think in the summer, the medical team need to be sacked off and a whole new medical team need to be brought in because this medical team's just been, well,
Poor.
they couldn't even perform in a circus, never mind, at a football club.
They're injuring our players on the pitch I'm obviously joking by this, by the way. When he was extending Gordon's leg out, see how bad it was, and nearly just injuring Gordon even more. I'm joking, by the way, but yeah, I do agree.
Yeah,
New medical staff needs to be appointed. You see, Man United, they brought in the Arsenal's club doctor. They're doing stuff for their medical staff. We need to bring a whole entire new one because I'm sick of all these setbacks, all these injuries. I'm sick of it all.
yeah. Ian says Tino Bruno Murphy was history yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, Tino was
David
definitely the
says
front runner.
Miley Murphy, then Tino. But yeah. Billy the Fish says, Howe's relative recently appointed to a senior scouting position at the club. That's his nephew, Andrew, yeah. How would you do that if you intend to possibly get shot of Howe? Ooh, good question. Well, it wouldn't really matter, would it? Because when Howe left Bournemouth, he was still in the transfer department, wasn't he, at Bournemouth? So I don't think it would make any difference to him, to be fair. Gary said, I think last night highlighted the importance of starting with Murphy on the right. Yeah, I was disappointed that Murphy didn't start last night, if I'm honest, Gary. I thought he would have started. I thought he had a good game against Wolves. But yeah, Eddie, it probably could have been the game that Eddie could have rested Anthony Gordon if he wanted to last night. And we wouldn't be talking about Gordon's injury tonight, would we?
No. I mean, I do want to see Miggy on the left a bit more. I do.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get that now.
I mean, I know there's a lot of our fans writing off the game on Saturday, but it would be the Newcastle thing that we got there and beat Man City. Do you know what I mean?
It would. I agree.
And it wouldn't surprise me. I've seen it before,
It's just what we do.
Yeah. I should do a poll on if Tony should do a poll. Paul's agreed with Ronald. BS says there's also closing it. If you can survive a night in Paul Galland's flat, we'll give you him for free. Jesus, Bia. Honestly.
If you can stand listening to the guitar all night.
Oh, God, yeah. Or watching him play with his feet.
God. Oh, God.
Yeah. You haven't seen that video, have you, Jack?
I don't really watch his videos anymore, mate, to be fair.
No, I don't either. I know he did have one where he opened up a pass and it was a box full of fairy liquid.
What?
Yeah. And he said this should
God.
last me till March. And people said, what you doing? Having a bath in it as well.
Why has it got that much fairy liquid? It's not at the London Stadium.
Ian says it was on radio Newcastle. The reason Hall's not playing is because Howe was trying to make him into a midfielder, and they're working on that.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I've just seen it one day ago. My hope with Newcastle United and cryptocurrency moving forward 2024.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Wayne says hello to us, and he says, our medical staff is shit set. We need a whole new medical staff, in my opinion. I absolutely agree. It's been a shambles. It's been a shambles, hasn't it? But yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on Saturday then, Jack? I mean, I know you're probably going to say I haven't really got any hope for Saturday, but
I knew we were going to get City in the group. I knew we were going to get City. I knew it. It's just we did it in the Carabao Cup. It's just I knew it. I knew we were going to get City. But if we were at home, I might be a bit more optimistic. But away at the Etihad, the way Man City are playing at the minute, they're tearing teams apart. But to be fair, when they play Liverpool, when you stick it on them, they don't like it. They don't like it when you stick it on them. So if we stick it on City and really give some heart on Saturday, things can happen. But if we play like how we did yesterday, then we're gonna get torn to absolute shreds. That's just the bottom line of it. But if we go there and actually give it to them a little bit, show a bit of fight, who knows? But obviously, I do think we will lose. But like you said, Tony, it would be the Newcastle thing to do. Go down there and get a result. It would. Obviously, you can't have a draw in the FA Cup, but it would be a Newcastle thing to do to go down there and get something from the game. It would.
Yeah, absolutely. Billy's in the chat. Hi, Billy. Hope you're well, mate. He says, I'd like to see a plan A instead of waving the white flag. Criminal management has to go, especially after insisting we play well last night. Steve Bruce levels a delusion. Do you know what, Billy? I saw that interview and I couldn't believe what he said when he said, yeah, we played well. And I thought, hang on, where did we play well? Because I would like to know, Eddie Howe, where did we play well? The white flag was definitely waved, Billy. And I'll tell you what as well, Billy, a lot of those players down tools last night. And what I want to see is, do some of them, are these players that are down in tools, is there a split in the dressing room now? And are these players trying to get rid of Eddie Howe? That is the other thing. And we've seen this happen before many times at clubs, and at our club as well before, that players will down tools just to get rid of a manager. Makes you wonder. What do you reckon to Billy's comment? He's right though, what he's saying, Billy. And Billy doesn't mince his words either.
No. With the interview when he was saying a lot of positives take from the game, I was quite stepped back by it. A lot of positives. We just made Chelsea look like prime Barca there, and Chelsea they'll win this game and they'll lose to Burnley. You just know they will. That's just Chelsea this season and the way they are now. I do agree. A lot of fans are going to the other side now, and it was a bit cowardly from Eddie Howe yesterday. It was a bit cowardly, just forfeiting the game with no real fight about it. I can see many reasons why people would say that, and got nothing against it at all. Fans are beginning to really just getting fed up with it now, and the way Eddie Howe acted yesterday and the manner he went about the game really turned some fans yesterday, and it is a shame because Eddie Howe is such a brilliant manager and he can do so much better, but he's just not really showing it at the minute, and he's being very stubborn.
Yeah. Blake, he says, I'm positive for Saturday. I think we'll keep it down to 4-0.
God.
I like the positivity there. That's
99% faith, 1% chance.
Yeah, Gary says if we score more than City, we can win. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. Like Keegan says, if we score one more than the opposition.
Yeah.
What time did Newcastle kick off Saturday? Is on TV? Yes, it's on BBC One, 5:30 kick-off.
Not a bad kick-off time.
Yeah, it's nice to have a prime time again, as we get called. Yeah, because it's the first game's in midday, I think, Coventry, Wolves Coventry.
Why couldn't we have that game?
Yeah, exactly.
That's Wolves going to Wembley.
Yeah. What I can't understand as well is, in this FA Cup, Jack, every game we've played away from home.
It's ridiculous.
And even if we do get past City, we might get a home tie because we might be in the home. We might get drawn as the home team at Wembley, so we might get one game at home, but it's not quite at home, if you know what I mean.
The only game I can allow is the Sunderland one because that makes it even better to beat them at in their own backyard. But the rest of them, the Fulham, the Blackburn, now Man City, that's annoying. That is annoying.
Tanji says we need a fully fit target back, but only a fully fit target, not a one that is going to be risked and get injured again. Again, I think that's another player that'll be moved on in the summer as well, Matt Target.
Mm-hmm.
His valuation's dropping now.
It's been really unfortunate for Matt Target because he was so good on loan, really, really good, and it was a no-brainer to sign him on a permanent deal. But since he signed the permanent deal, he's not really lived up to the expectation that we thought of him, and he has suffered with injuries. We know that. It's really unfortunate for Matt Target, really unfortunate. But unfortunately, we are moving on now, and Matt Target, he's not a proper chance, and unfortunately, he's never been given the proper chance because players like Dan Burn last season were playing out of their skin, and unfortunately, Matt Target just didn't get the chance to play. It's unfortunate, but that's football. It's a cruel sport sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, guys and girls, we've been on over an hour and a half. It's flew this show. So we are coming to the end of the show. But yeah, it's been a great show. Jack, give your channel a shout out, and what have you got coming up on your channel this week as well? So let viewers know.
You can find me on Toon TV just there on the not there Toon TV right there. I've got a preview coming up, press conference reaction as well, watch along, review, all that malarkey, daily news videos and stuff. Yeah, just regular stuff really on my channel, and as well, if you want to drop that subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And yeah, also subscribe to It's All Black and White TV as well.
Cheers, Jack. Nice to have you on, mate, as well. Yeah, so this week I've got I'm trying to think what day it's just Tuesday today. I'm forgetting now because of the match being on a Monday. It knocks you for six, doesn't it? You know, you used to have been on a Saturday or a Sunday. So yeah, so coming up this week, I'll have towards probably the end of the week, there'll be the preview for the Man City game. Might see if I can get Martin on for that one for the preview. And then I'll have the pre-match as normal on Saturday. So the pre-match will be at 4 p.m. So join me for the pre-match, and we'll give you the lineups as well. May do a match reaction after the Man City game, depending how bad it is. Depending if depending how sober or not sober I might be after the end of that game. Because if it goes too far, I might just have to drink myself stupid so I don't watch the end of it. I'm only joking, guys, because I drink responsibly. That's why I say everybody drink responsibly. But yeah, so that's what's coming up this week. There may be a show on Wednesday as well, tomorrow. So do keep an eye out for that one if you've hit that bell notification as well. Great show, Tony and Jack, says David. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Burns finished at left back. Chelsea went for him all game.
Not just Chelsea, every single club.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. You too, Paul. I must beat blocks. I'll watch it back later tonight. No problem, Wayne. No problem, mate. See you later, all, says Gary. Yeah, you too, mate. Ian says, great show, Tony and Jack. Cheers, Ian. Good show, lad, says Andrew. Ronald says if Target is on 100 grand a week, he has to justify it. Well, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. But before we do shoot off, if you do like what you see, please do make sure you smash that like button, and it does help the channel up the search, so please give it a like. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe, be part of this great community we have, yeah, and join and hit that bell notification to keep you up to date with any future shows as well, or pre-records. I did put out a little pre-record last night. If you haven't seen it, go and give it a watch. Just a match reaction. I was rather pissed off last night, to be fair. But I wasn't the only one as well. But as I always say, remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white, and it's bye-bye from me.
See you later, everyone. How are the lads?
How are the lads?